This is Megan from IT What's Your Superpower, and today I'm going to show you some tips for getting started creating in PowerPoint. So I have a blank PowerPoint slide, and the first thing you'll want to do is resize your page setup. I'm going to save it to change to the size of a piece of paper. You can change your layout here also. I'm going to leave mine horizontal. It's going to tell you there's a problem with it. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to delete these two boxes and start with a clean page. The first thing I'm going to do is insert a shape. When you're working in PowerPoint, you want to think in layers. So you can move things in front of each other or behind it and manipulate the way things look. So I'm going to get started by inserting a shape. Well, I'm going to insert this rectangle right here. This is the default color and style for a shape in PowerPoint. I'm going to format it, and I'm going to change this. I want this to have a border of digital paper. I'm going to grab a paper from my School Days Jumbo Bundle, and if you'll look, see how distorted it is? It's taken the entire 12 by 12 paper and squeezed it into this rectangle. If I click on Tile, then it goes back to its original proportion. And I've still got this outline and shadow. You have to remove that in PowerPoint. So I want no line and no shadow. And now I want a blue border to break up the stripes and the white. So I'm going to insert another shape. This is too big for what I want, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Again, I'm going to go to Format Shape. I don't want a shadow. I don't want a line. And I want this exact blue color. So I'm going to click on this and click on More Colors and use this color picker right here to grab the blue that I want. Now this is too big, so I can try to resize it to exactly what I want, or I can remember that I'm working in layers and just send this back a layer. Send backward, and now I can hide the extra width behind this rectangle of paper. Now I'm going to add some text. Let me click on text box. I'm going to center this text box before I do anything else to it. And I can come over here to my formatting palette and center it. So I'm going to say, welcome to first grade. I'm going to choose a different font. And you can use this slider to make it bigger. If you have an exact amount that you want, you can put that in also. I'm going to choose a contrasting font for down here. I'm going to want to change the color. So if I come over here to font color, you would think this color picker right here would work. It doesn't. It changes it to some other color that is not what you chose and often isn't even anywhere close. So I'm going to go to More Colors, use this color picker and make it turquoise. And then I want to make this a rainbow. So I'm going to start with blue. Now the nice thing is once you've picked a color, it shows up in your recent colors. And then I'm going to make each fifth letter for each of these blue. Then I'm going to go to pink. I always want to click on that dropper because I'm going to just grab the color, but it doesn't work that way. Then I'll grab more colors, the yellow. It's kind of tedious, but it looks a lot nicer when your colors are coordinated. And then I'll grab the red, more colors, color dropper, red, and make this one red. Now you might want to add in some clip art to this. So I'll go to Picture, Insert Picture, And then wherever you've saved your clip art, there was a paperclip divider in here that might look cute. Paperclip. There we go. Now this is too big. I just want this paperclip on each side. If I size it down to fit, the paper clips are way too small. So what I can do is, I want 3 paper clips over there. So let me size it down to the size I want my paper clips to be. Maybe here's good. And then I can crop it. So I'm going to cut off all of those extra paper clips. And then I've got this set of paper clips here. And I'll, whoops, duplicate it and bring them over here. I want them, if you move it around, it'll show you a guide. So this shows me that they're lined up. And I want them to be centered equally on each side. So if I click out of the box and just click, whoops, I didn't click out of my text box far enough. I haven't grabbed all the text, so it's not going to grab onto the text box for me. It's only grabbed these 2 things that were completely selected. If I right click, that will group them. Grouping is an option, so I can group them. And now I can center them on either side of my text. I like that a lot better. You may want to add in something down here to fill up that space. There's a chevron divider in that set. Let's see. And then let's look at another option for when cropping does not get the job done completely. This is bigger than I want it to be. If I size it again, like the paper clips, down to the size I want, it's maybe tinier than I would like it to be. So size it to the actual size that you want, even if it's too long. I think this is a good size. Still too long, so I'm going to crop it. The problem is that this is a chevron divider, so these ends are overlapping. I still have that yellow. There's no way I can get rid of that without cutting off the next piece of it. So I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to do one more step. Let me go ahead and get it centered. I'm going to add one more step. Again, this is layers. So I can add another layer of white on top of this yellow and get rid of it. You won't see anymore because it's white. So I'm going to go to Shapes, Lines and Rectangles, or Lines and Connectors. In this bottom row, you have some options. You can create curved lines here. This is a freeform closed shape, and this is just a scribble. I wish I could just scribble on top of it white, but you can't adjust the thickness, and it's super narrow, so it would actually take a long time, even with that little bit of yellow. So I'm going to go to this closed freeform shape. I'm going to zoom in because it's kind of hard to see. And I'm just going to click, and each time I click, it creates an ending point, and I'm going to close the shape. It doesn't have to be a perfect triangle. You can do weird shapes with it. So now it's gone to its default shape size, so I'm going to have to format that. Format shape, fill. I want a white fill, no line, and no shadow. I could duplicate this and rotate it to put on top of the yellow. It's just really hard because it's white, so you can't see anything. So I'm just going to insert another shape. Lines and connectors, freeform. Do the same thing. And format your shape again. Fill, white, line, no shadow. And there you go. You've now erased, even though PowerPoint does not have an eraser, you've erased those extra pieces. Now, if you want to move that, you want to make sure that you grab those shapes along with it so that you don't lose any pieces. Okay, I always like to fool around with mine to make sure that I like the layout. So I'm going to grab this. As long as I don't grab all of this blue line at the top, it's not going to move. Whoops, I didn't get my text in there. Let me get a little bigger. That should work. So I'm going to play around with the spacing some until I'm happy with it. And that is it. Now I need to save it. You're in PowerPoint. So you could save it as a PowerPoint file if you wanted. I usually save mine as a PDF. So File, Save As. You need to think about where you're going to save that. Welcome to first grade. And I can change this to a PDF. If you were creating for Teachers Pay Teachers, you're going to have to go a step beyond PDF. There are PDF unlockers, so people can download that file, run the PDF through a PDF unlocker, and then each of these individual pieces would now be available to them, just like they are in PowerPoint, and that breaks the terms of use for all of the sellers that are on Teachers Pay Teachers for their clip art and digital papers. There are different resources available to you if you want to lock a PDF. You just need to research it and find out which one will work best for you. If you have any questions, please send me an email at meganfarv@gmail.com. I'd be happy to help.